Brigitte. When Jeff Kaplan first said that the newest hero would be meta-defining, he really wasn't kidding. She's completely changed the landscape of competitive Overwatch, even at the highest levels. No one is feeling this more than the meme dream team themselves, the Dallas Fuel. The first 3 stages were so catastrophic that they were even predicted to lose against the Shanghai Dragons, a team with 0 lifetime wins. But in stage 4, Dallas suddenly looked like a real team, and they've even taken wins over Boston, Philly, and London. So how did we get from Fuel's bad man to here? In short, Mickie's Brigitte. OGE, Taimu, and new coach Arrow have all played big parts in the team's overall improvement, but Mickie's Brigitte play is on another level from the competition, and his grasp of the hero has carried games for the Fuel and created some absurd stat lines. There are a few Brigitte players in the league right now, but here's what makes Mickie the best of them all.
Time to roll up my sleeves.
Mickie excels with Brigitte because he does one thing better than everyone else: positioning. In a way, Brigitte is like Mercy. Huge utility with a low skill floor and a skill ceiling that rises with game sense and positioning. You don't need sick aim or crazy rollouts to be effective with Brigitte, but just a slight positioning mistake can spell instant doom, especially if your shield bash is on cooldown. And on the flip side, smart positioning can make her oppressive kit an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Come in and punish immediately from down. There it is. That's it.
Mickie knows how to put Brigitte in the right place at the right time, keeping her alive and in the fight while helping her teammates go to work. Let's see a few examples. The Fuel Renaissance started with their win over Boston, and Mickie showed early on how Brigitte can absolutely carry a team fight and score a ridiculous 3 rallies in 90 seconds. The Fuel have a minute and a half left in their attack round, and they only need to win 1 more fight on the cart. Under the walkway in point B, Mickie knows that it's going to be a brawl, especially with mistakes switching onto Brigitte for the added sustain.
Trust me.
To win this out, Mickie's going to need to keep his teammates up longer and build his ult faster than mistakes. Mickie drops rally, and a melee breaks out on cart. Support ultimates fly, and a couple kills get traded out, and Mickie demonstrates huge positioning discipline here. Boston crowd into the Pylon Cafe behind their Transcendence, an appealing target for Brigitte's cleave damage. But instead of pressuring them at the door, Mickie smartly peels back for his team and stays brawling between the tank line. Why? Because he's gaming one of Brigitte's most valuable tools, Inspire. With almost the exact same healing as Lucio's base heal and twice the radius, Inspire can not only provide a ton of sustain, but also charge rally in the blink of an eye if multiple teammates are around. Keep in mind, she's getting ult charge every time she swings from both the damage and healing. Instead of getting charged for just hitting the enemy, Mickie focuses on staying within his team, specifically near OGE's Winston, and is able to get another rally off only 35 seconds after his last one ended. As the brawl continues, juicy targets frequently show themselves to Mickie, but he wisely aims for the biggest and closest target to him, even taking extra steps back when he does have to move forward so that Inspire can reach as far back into his team as possible. He only takes ground when OGE is there to push behind, and it keeps him safe in what's been a mess of a fight. With around 10 seconds to go, Mickie is already more than halfway to a 3rd rally. He finds himself in the middle of the fight with a dilemma. Most Brigitte players would see a low health Widow and Mercy and think, okay, it's clobbering time. But once again, Mickie plays for the team. He focuses on the front line, working toward that final rally to seal the fight. Boston cannot afford that, so Kamsu goes primal to knock Mickie away. He dives after, but this leaves the Boston backline exposed. With Kamsu deep into Fuel territory and Kalios getting demech'd, there's nobody to protect Striker or Aim God, the only ones with enough damage to counter Brigitte's armor. OGE goes primal and knocks them away, cutting them off from the main fight and giving Dallas a major advantage. With the only major threats dealt with, the Fuel crowd around Brigitte and they use her Inspire to walk all over the rest of the uprising. By the time Mickie pops his 3rd rally in 90 seconds, it's just overkill. Dallas have the man and momentum advantage, and they roll to a first map victory.
Mace to the face.
Perfect positioning won't just help you bank an absurd amount of ultimates. It can also help derail an enemy's entire game plan. let's go back to Blizzard World and see how Mickie puts this to work and opens his team up for a full hold against the London Spitfire. You only really need to see the first 10 seconds.
They understand the name of the game, Hex. They know what's up. Brigitte's where it's at. Mickie, well, look at that. See? Brigitte.
Mickie and the Fuel have a perfect read on London's strategy. They know the Spitfire are going to run Prophet on Tracer and have him constantly annoyed by backcapping the point. After all, it's one of their go-to moves. London aren't a great offensive team, and the Blizzard World choke can be a tough one to break through. By forcing defenders to constantly worry about the point, they pull attention away from the front doors, giving them a clear opportunity for a dive. As soon as the match begins, Mickie is already positioned to intercept the invading Tracer, and Prophet gets the first taste of what turns out to be a pretty one-sided debate with Brigitte's rocket flail.
Mickie, well, look at that. See? Brigitte. The Brigitte. Mickie just doing work already, and he's so comfortable on this hero.
Even though Prophet does manage to get a free tick in the back, no matter where he goes, Mickie is always there, denying space and rendering him useless.
There it is. That's what it's all about. Mickie sticking to the game plan and shut down the Tracer.
There's no need to game Inspire up front with the tanks. He's shutting down pushes before they even begin. This is some inspired stuff. But maybe the single most impressive part of Mickie's Brigitte dominance is his use of Shield Bash. Yeah, it's an easy and spammable ability, but Brigitte is at her most vulnerable when it's on cooldown. Mickie makes his count with more clever positioning, the difference between an average bash and a map-winning one.
Down, 4-man dead. That's Mickie setting it up. What a play.
Let's take one more look at their win over Boston, where Mickie drops a total gem on Gibraltar. With about a minute left, Boston have only one shot at a big ultimate fight, and they have the resources to do it. But as they square up to fight, Mickie is already on a brilliant flank. When the fight breaks out, he drops down from behind and gets a surprise kill on Aim God. The value here is insane. For one, he's removing a support and Transcendence from the equation, but he's also splitting the fight, forcing half of the team to peel while Kellex wastes his Valkyrie to bring Aim God back up. The chaos makes Boston panic, and they end up wasting the two most important ults, their Dragon Ball combo, their best and only chance for a team wipe. This is bad positioning though, right? I mean, he's dropping behind enemy lines and using his only movement ability, while he's nowhere near his team to provide any healing or protection. But here's where game sense and positioning combine to make the difference. When Mickie goes off on his flank, he and his team already have their rally armor up. Plus, he makes another smart move in shield bashing toward his team rather than separating Aim God from the fight, and himself from his protection. With just a little bit of planning and forethought, Mickie is able to make a picture-perfect play, getting all the value out of his ability without putting himself in any real danger. Brigitte may seem easy or obvious, but Mickie proves that there's a big gap between your average Brigitte and a world-class one, and that the skill ceiling is higher than you might think. Positioning and awareness, whether it's to maximize your Inspire healing and build ult, deny an enemy flank, or set up a monster shield bash, is the path to glory for any aspiring Brigitte, and Mickie's new look Dallas Fuel.
Blitz Esports releases new Overwatch videos every week. Subscribe so you don't miss a single one.